Hello. So I've actually had a video about this before, but I thought it'd be important to talk about like pets. Like especially after my last video, or not my last video, but my recent video on like beating different teams, like a wide variety of teams, like a small number of heroes. A big part of like what makes that possible is having my pets developed. Like pets are honestly, this game could almost be called Pet Wars. Like pets are so important to the hero fights that if you don't have your pets developed, hero fights will be much harder. Like you do need to have the right heroes. Like some heroes are better than others, but having the right pets for those heroes, but the right patrons, the right pet to be your combat pet in different situations, matters a lot. If you remember my tests, like some of my had Chorus, some of I had Axel. There's a couple I used Kane for manual mode. Sometimes Albus is the right pet to use. Like so, there's different times when you want to use different pets for different fights. And just having the different pets like it gives you more options for your teams, give you more options for your heroes, allows you to maximize the power of your team. Like, so take a hero. I guess it's easier going to like arena because you can actually see these. So take a hero like Aurora. She has 5 options of patron. Kane's really good on her, but there's times like I've said this before. So there's times when you might want Oliver on her. There's also times when you might want Biscuit on her because Aurora does lots of AE abilities. Aurora can strip Ode to Serenity with the Biscuit's patronage ability. There's like said Krista, or sorry Merlin. Like so in Twin Team I have it on Krista, but like there's some heroes where Merlin's good on like Aurora. Like so Merlin's the only pet that raises magic penetration. Aurora doesn't have a lot of magic penetration, but if you can give her booster magic penetration, her Rainbow Halo ability will be able to do more damage to enemy teams against a hero like say like Orion or something. Merlin can end up doing a lot of extra damage, or even like Celeste, someone that's doing a lot of like magic damage to Aurora, like said Orion's like you might say said it's not fine. You'll see that often these days, but there was a time one you would see so like and there would be an Orion. You'd have Nebula between Orion and Celeste, which would cause a lot of magic damage. Um, so Merlin was actually a pretty good pet to have like on a patron to have on Aurora against those kind of teams because they would be doing a lot of magic damage to Aurora, and having a higher penetration would allow Aurora to do more damage back to the enemy team. So there's different values there. Like again, this one's pretty safe if you don't need the dodge abilities. Like this is kind of what I would use for like against like if you don't need dodge ability, Oliver's probably the second best patron for her. It just really depends. Like this one's pretty safe. There's not a lot of reason to use Axel. I mean, I can't really think of one honestly. There's just unless you can get to where you're getting one shot by pure damage or something. I mean, there's just it's like there's better options. The only reason you use Axel is if for whatever reason, like it's the only pet you've developed and you think it's better on Aurora for the extra stats. Rather than anything like your new player, there might be a reason to have Axel on her. Uh, but it's like you got other patron options like Krista, like usually on Merlin, just because Merlin lets her keep her ice needles on more often. Axel doesn't do a lot for Krista because Krista's already immune to one shots, and Chorus and Biscuit have the same stats as Axel, and they're both better options for Krista. There's case for Chorus, there's case for Biscuit. Most time you want Merlin. Also, Krista doesn't have like natural magic penetration, so Merlin can also help her that way as well. Um, but Celeste is like this is the one where you'll have like a lot of options. Like a lot of times Axel makes the most sense just because you'll might have like Mara here, and so Axel, like I said, will keep Celeste from getting one shotted. Like and Celeste is pretty frail. She has one of the lowest health pools of any hero in the game. But because like if you're like a team like this, we have mage in front and behind her though. Sometimes like Chorus can be good because he has his patronage ability. Says patron, pet, chorus, the owner, and 2 allies with intelligence or main stat that stand in front of the owner and behind them are granted a resilience aura. So intelligence hero, so they would get that resilience aura. The owner with the resilience owner converts 50% of magic damage they deal into shield. The allies of the aura convert 25% of magic damage they deal into a shield. Shield absorbs some of the physical damage taken. The damage absorbed scales the hero's missing health. So this is like said. So again, with actual intelligence heroes who do magic damage, uh, this ends up being pretty good. Now there are some intelligence heroes who don't do magic damage. Like, for example, let's say Maya doesn't. Uh, see, there's some other heroes. Iris doesn't. Um, da, 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 da. Martha doesn't. Morgan doesn't. Like, so there's a lot of heroes who are intelligence heroes, but they don't do magic damage, so they wouldn't get the benefit from that. So you have to kind of keep that in mind with like Chorus. Um, Biscuit can be good on Celeste. Sometimes you want the extra, like, just damage against, like said, just the extra, like, ability to strip Ode to Serenity or just have more, like, ways to reduce healing. Like I said, it's a good debuff, has a 100% chance of landing, so it's pretty good at stripping. So that's not the best Ode stripper, because she doesn't really have good A's. I mean, so she's mostly single target, so she's not the best at stripping Ode, but sometimes Biscuit's right. Merlin, like, so when pets were first released, Merlin was the only pet Celeste could use, and she, like said, so this was like kind of the OG option, but sometimes it makes sense to use Merlin, just because this is the only pet that adds penetration, and having Merlin on Celeste gives her enough magic penetration to do max damage to pretty much everything in the game, unless they have like a magic defense buff up or something. So this ends up really can help her increase her damage versus certain enemies. She did just get a magic penetration skin, so this might not be quite as relevant as it used to, but also Merlin will let her use. See this house 50% is skill increase. This increases magic damage dealing skill. So this would be for Cursed Flame on Celeste. It's the only ability it increases the speed of, but remember, like, on these kind of abilities though, like, remember, using your ability more often also means you get more energy. So this also slightly increases their energy gains. The other benefit of Merlin is that if you get to use an ability faster, like using an ability, when your Celeste uses Cursed Flame, she gains 10% energy. So this will let her gain a bit extra energy faster, like if you want, like said, so it'll help her get back to Purifying Sphere. Does not speed up any of the healing abilities, will not speed up Purifying Sphere or anything, just Cursed Flame, but it's like, it's all the same thing to note on like heroes like Thea or something. This will only speed up her like Vow of Silence with like Merlin, but if she does the Vow of Silence more often, she'll get to use her ult more often. Her ult buffs magic defense, it heals the whole team, and if you have her Ascension ability, like I do, or rank 5, you'll get the overhealing. Like, so there's always like select different options with different pets. Let's see, where's Arachne? So Arachne, a lot of times you'll want like Mara on her. Mara, because the stuns, because Mara triples the duration of stuns, as well as other status effects. And Arachne, of course, is the queen of stuns. And if you pair with like Maya, like, so this is where like Maya is a pure damage hero. So like Albus, a lot of times Albus really good on Maya because Albus pretty much almost doubles her damage. But if you want to use like Arachne though, Biscuit's really good because Biscuit will strip off Ode to Serenity really fast, which will allow Arachne to get those stuns in a lot easier. So this matters a lot. Of course, now we're seeing the proliferation of Chorus becoming one of the most popular. Like, I think eventually he will be the most popular pet on defense in the higher levels. And the 71% chance of blocking status effect is really good. 71% chance blocking stun, so it's a lot harder to win. Like, I've lost a course several times now. Like, it's harder. You can't just stun cheese your way to victory like you can without him. Like, he's just so good. He's so underrated. I don't know why a lot of people think he's not that great. I'm like, no, he's amazing. But this is, like I said, and this is like having these other options as pets. Like, sometimes Chorus is the right pet to use for an attacking when you're attacking, because sometimes they'll have like a bunch of controllers. They may have like Leanne or Arachne defending. So it's important to have like the options, like in trying to develop your pets. And again, like if you watch my Let's Play the other day, I actually got a win with Arachne by putting Axel on her. So Arachne has some of the highest armor in the game. Certainly for like a non-tank, she probably has like the best armor for a non-tank in the game. Axel increases her armor by like another 10k, plus it makes her immune to one-shots. Yes, you won't get the long duration stuns, but this helps make Arachne a lot tankier, and Arachne has high vampirism. Like, this can, if you just need Arachne to survive, this is also a good option for her. Albus, she does some pure damage. Albus, there's not a lot of reason to use Albus on her, unless for whatever reason the other options are taken. But most time, like, you probably want Mara. But yeah, no, like when you're doing like events, like, oh, let's see, let's go back here. When you're doing like events, like where you want to do like spend emeralds or something, like if you're trying to get that, like spending emeralds on pets is a legit way to spend emeralds. Like for people who are focusing on heroes, like honestly, it's probably the best way. If you're just trying to do those spend emerald quests, you can just go, like I said, you can spend emeralds to level up these gems. I've spent on this account, I've spent hundreds of thousands of emeralds on these scenes. On my Let's Play account, I'm probably going to spend some more emeralds tomorrow on just on pets because we got our totems. We got my second totem on that account now, so we will probably, because we're going to go to the 65,000 emeralds, which is a lot of emeralds spent on one event on the account, but the artifact event is so good, and it's something, the main thing that account really needs right now is artifacts and pets, so we'll probably use pets, like spend it on pets right here, probably chaos particles. Another thing you can spend it on would be pet summoning eggs. You can always spend it, like this is also a good place to spend it, because it's like says you just want to, but you want to wait till the pet you want is a grand prize, ideally, or at least one of the pets you want an absolute star. Because if you pull the grand prize, you will, like I said, it's a lot more exciting if it's a pet you want instead of like something like Fenris or something. You'll be disappointed if it's like a pet you're not planning on. Like my other account, like Fenris is level 1. He'll probably be level 1 for, I mean, yeah, foreseeable future. I might never level him up on that account because there's just, that account's so resource starved that I just don't got the resources for Fenris. And Fenris, he's the worst pet. There's not a lot of reason to develop him. But it's just like said, yeah, no, if you're trying to get Cain Absolute Star, it's better to open these when Cain's the grand prize pet for the day. So you have a chance of getting him. But yeah, there's not too much more to say like that about this. But just pets are super important. Like, and if you do want to be able to feed a variety of teams, like I showed in that video the other day, you do need to have all your pets, at least most of your pets developed, at least the ones you need for your teams, to give you those options, to make you more powerful and maximize the power and value of your heroes. Like Aurora is an absolute force. But Aurora's, like I said, but you do need Cain if you really want to get the most out of Aurora. Because if without Cain, you're not able to counter Martha, you're not able to just cut to counter a lot most physical damage teams, like, so just stuff like that. Just, you do need your pets. Anyway, if you missed my video about beating a wide variety of teams with just 8 heroes, please check out that video below. Thanks for watching.